So I told y'all that I'll catch y'all up on what happened when I actually went into the second detox. So here's a little story time. So I actually had planned on just doing outpatient care, which was, going to groups or whatever. But when I called the people and they asked me, like, was I drinking? The same place that I went to, but they have actual outpatient. They asked me, was I still drinking? And I said no. So Friday, July 11th, I don't know what in the hell got into me to get up and just start drinking early in the morning, but I did, like, early, like before 11 o'clock. Wine, same thing, or whatever. I think because I had some left over from the night before, or whatever. So I got up drinking or whatever. So by like, I'll say by 12 o'clock or whatever, I was already tipsy. So I do have a caseworker from the crisis center or whatever. And she called me and I told her, like, I feel like I should go in back into detox or whatever. I kind of feel, convicted that I lied to the people. And also I knew that I would feel uncomfortable going to the groups knowing that I'm going around people that are actually sober, that have gone into detox. I already go to a group now where everybody there they were sober or whatever. They sober already. They just taking Suboxone. So I know what it's like to be the only person in a group and not be sober. I didn't want to be that again because I was always the negative Nancy, the person that just couldn't get right. I just didn't want to be that again. So I called my caseworker. I told her, and she was like, "All right, we'll go ahead and get you into detox today." I'm like, "Okay, moving a little bit fast, but shit, let's go for it or whatever." And I thought I was gonna go back to the first detox center that I went to or whatever, which is X, and I didn't. I actually went to Winmore Healthcare. Now, mind you, I didn't find this place on my own. This place was found by my caseworkers through the crisis center. I didn't know anything about it besides that they had aftercare treatment. After you get out of detox, basically you like therapy or whatever. So, and you meet with a doctor if they need to, they'll put you on medication or whatever. This Winmore healthcare place, they are dual care. So they don't just work on substance abuse treatment, they also work with behavior health. Now, mind you, I told you all that I had been, struggling with my mental health for quite a while or whatever ever since I had moved or whatever. Like I had went through like a depressed state of being here, being away from family, being away from friends and all of that or whatever. And then all of the things that I had gone through while being here, definitely justifiable to myself. So yeah, I was already going through depression or whatever and whatever other mental health issues. I couldn't focus. I couldn't even look at a piece of paper and like actually read it. It looked like scribble scrabble to me. And this is the honest truth. Like I got a caseworker because I couldn't even set a damn appointment for myself. And I was well off of the Percocet shit when I was on the Percocets, even when I was drinking. I was working. I was going to work. It wasn't until after I stopped working and I would say a little bit after I stopped working, that I started to, experience more mental health issues because it started when I was working. I used to sit outside my job and sit out there for at least an hour or whatever, just thinking, mind going crazy or whatever, thinking about all of the stuff that I needed to do. I came up here as a single parent, getting out of a relationship, whatever, whatever. So, yeah, I went into Winmore and they called me an Uber or whatever. They called me an Uber because they didn't want me to drive. I'm thinking because they didn't want me to just try to leave this place, and also the place was a bit of a distance from my location. I got in an Uber. I'm gonna show y'all. Mental health care. Got in an Uber, got there. As soon as I got there, I pressed the button, asked them, hey, I'm here for treatment or whatever. I called or whatever the case may be. They said just come in. Basically something like the last situation before. So when I got in there, I had to wait for about so as soon as I get to this place or whatever and I go in, they had to like, come unlock the door, everything or whatever. But it's still not looking in my mind because mind you, before I went, I told y'all I was drinking. When they did my like a breathalyzer, I I was at like a 0.125 or whatever, which is way past the legal limit to even be driving. So good thing I didn't drive. But yeah, they they basically took my purse instantly, like fast, like everything happened fast. Took my phone, everything fast. I literally didn't even, before they took all my stuff, I literally didn't even get the chance to text none of my peoples and let them know. I did call my sisters and let them know or whatever. And my close friends, let them know, like, I'm going into treatment, like, but I didn't let them know that I had made it, and the people had took my phone already. So we get in the bed and they do a strip search or whatever. I'm like, at this point, I've been drunk, I've been like drinking all day, so I'm just like, whatever. Like, they told me to sign paperwork. Like, mind you, I told you I wasn't reading through paperwork or whatever. It looked like scribble scrabble to me or whatever. So I'm just signing paperwork. I did ask them what it was, but I didn't read it myself. Foolish. So just sign the paperwork, yeah, whatever. Just get me to a bed at this point or whatever. So, and give me a Tylenol. So they take my clothes. I did this place. I could have bought in my own clothes, but I didn't know that. I didn't know nothing about the place. Only thing I had was the clothes that I brought in. I did bring in some underwear or whatever, but that was it. And underwear and stuff like that, underwear and socks and stuff like that. But that's it. And then they took me on the floor. When they took me on the floor, they showed me my room, which was like, a normal room, like a. I'm still not knowing what I'm getting myself into. I'm not knowing what this place is, no nothing. So the very first day that I was there, I slept majority of the time or whatever. And that was it. Next day, I asked the people, I'm like, so what do y'all expect of me? Like, what am I supposed to be doing or whatever? So they told me. So mind you, that night they did also, the very first night I was sick as a dog or whatever because I drank so much, so I was sick as a dog. Yeah, they put me in a wheelchair or whatever day 3 because my blood pressure kept dropping. That was just for me to go into common areas. And then by day 4, the nurse, she took away my wheelchair or whatever. And mind you, this is when my blood pressure was like 70/40, feeling even weaker or whatever. Still was participating in groups and stuff like that or whatever. But for the most part, day 4, I was really down in the bed majority of the time. It was time for us to go to lunch. And one of the patients that was actually pushing me in a wheelchair, which it should have been a nurse, but one of the patients that was pushing me in a wheelchair, he asked the nurse, like, why did you take away her wheelchair or whatever? And the nurse was like, she told me, listen here, Missy, or whatever, basically just started arguing with me or whatever, being very disrespectful and loud for no reason or whatever the case may be. I ignored her because she was an elder lady, a YC woman. I ignored her or whatever. We get in the elevator. The guy, he's still, asking another nurse now or whatever. Now this nurse was even rooted in the last one. He asking her, and she was like, I'm not gonna discuss another patient information with you or whatever. So I was okay until I got in the cafeteria. I just was upset about the whole thing, just everything or whatever, because why are you doing that? Like, why is you taking me with my wheelchair? Why is you doing all of this? I already don't feel good. You're just doing the fucking most or whatever. So we get downstairs and I'm just like fed up and I'm like, you know what, I'm finna leave. So y'all, I tried to leave, and I walked out of the cafeteria. Mind you, they took away my shoes, everything. I didn't even have no shoes on. I tried to walk out of the cafeteria. Well, I did walk out of the cafeteria and I started looking for the exit. And this lady, she started coming behind me and she's like, ma'am, you can't leave, ma'am. I'm steadily walking like I don't even hear stuff. Steadily walking, looking for the exit, going to every door, trying to push on every door. Then I look back, once I get to the actual exit, I look back, it's like 30 people behind me. So I'm like, what the hell? The lady, she like grabbed my arm. So I'm like, get the fuck off of me, like, don't touch me. So they thinking, now this is where I found out that this is not just a detox or whatever. I know it was they deal with behavior health, but I didn't know that this was a psych hospital or whatever. I didn't know whatever the hell I was getting myself into. But anyways, yeah, these people was like, you can't just leave like that or whatever. Mind you, it was like 30 motherfuckers, like they done called a code red or something. And I didn't even realize this place was this big, but I should have known because it was like 4 floors. But they done called the code red, everybody in the hall or whatever. They trying to get me back to the cafeteria. And I'm like, no, I'm not going back to the cafeteria. I signed myself up for this place, thinking it's like the other place that I went to. I signed myself up for this place. I want to go. I want to leave. They was like, you can't just leave like that. You have to sign the paper to sign yourself out. So I'm like, bring the papers here. They was like, no, we'll just take you to another unit or whatever, and you could just sign the papers. Y'all, they lied to me. And they, first of all, I told them that I didn't want to go to another unit because I felt like they was going to take me to a unit that I didn't like or whatever, or a psych unit or whatever the case may be. And that's exactly what they did, y'all. They took me to the psych unit, the crisis unit. Only reason I knew that they had a crisis unit was because while I was there, the lady would continue, the nurse would continue to threaten patients if they didn't get up to go do the activities or go to lunch that she would call crisis. And I've seen the crisis lady come up there like really, really fast. But I'm still not knowing like what I'm getting myself into. So they're like, oh, we'll take you to unit 12 or whatever, and we'll just have you sign a paper so you can go. So I walked with them or whatever, all 30 of them, or however many it was, walked me to the unit until I got in there, locked me in there. Soon as the doors closed, I look around. Y'all, why these people don't put me in a psych ward? Why these people don't put me in a motherfucking psych ward? It's people in them banging their head up against the wall. People talking to themselves. People itching like crazy, running around just doing craziness. And it was nuts, y'all. I posted on here when I first posted it. I went in there, and one of my friends said that she got PTSD from going to that place. If you was where I was at, which was Unit 12, sis, I can understand why. First of all, this place, it looked like a jail.